Regular expressions. In Python, we have a module, regular expressions, which allows us to use a text, given text, and find certain patterns in the text. I might be trying to find email address in a given text, or maybe a phone number, or maybe more than one phone number, or a particular text pattern. And just before I do that, because it's a big topic, I need to kind of divide and conquer that. Maybe let's see a sample of what it is. The first thing I want to tackle here is when I'm going to be using regular expressions in the following videos, I'm going to be using raw strings. Now let's see the difference between the regular string and the raw string. Imagine I have the text number 1, which reads, "This is a sample of the text." The text number 2 is, "This is a sample of the text." What is the difference between them? The text number 2 has backslash and T. This is a special character, the function that can use to use tabulator. So if I print text 1, it's going to display the text from the left to right. This backslash T means that the print function is going to use tabulator, which is either 4 or 8 characters indentation from the left. So if I do the same thing and print text here, there's an indentation of 8 characters here, and that's what this special character stands for. In regular expressions, sometimes I want to see if there is such /t or some special character that has a special meaning for some functions. I want to actually match that one. So that's why the best option while using regular expressions is to effectively use raw strings. Now let's see the raw string. So if I have a, let's say, text 3, I will start my text with R for raw. And if I have this tabulator, this is a sample of the text. So if I have in my variable, I try to look at this string as a raw string. When I print text 3, my function, print function, is going to say, you know what, I'm going to ignore what you wanted me to do. I'm not going to do a tabulator here. I'm going to just display as it is. Look what happens. I see the /t. And this is important because our text can contain certain characters which are referred to in Python regular expressions in general, as a meta character. I'll be using those to match on strings. It's harder to explain that in words. I'm going to be showing those many times over in the next videos. But just to see the glimpse of what it is. So if I have a text, let's just say I'm looking for a keyword sample. Is the keyword sample in my text? Text 1 has a keyword sample. I'm going to use a raw string to build my regular expressions. So what are the steps to use regular expressions? To find something in the text, there will be 4 steps. First, your source code must have this line at the very top, import RE. Import RE means import regular expression module, and now we can use the power of the module to our advantage. So the second step is to create regular expression. So regex, let's call this a variable regex, and I'll be using my raw string to find thing in the text. Is the word sample in the text 1, in the variable text 1 string? If I want to do that, I can just type in literally sample. So use raw string, even though it's not necessary in this particular example. I'm going to be using this R just to get into the habit of using it. So that's the second step. So next step is going to be to compile that. So regular expression module needs this to be compiled in its own format. So I'm going to call this variable pattern, and I'm going to compile that regular expression, human readable regular expression, into something that Python module understands. So I'm going to say regular expression, compile, and what am I trying to compile? Well, the regular expressions I just created, which in this context is just a word sample I'm looking for. Then the third step is going to be to find the matches in the given text. Our text here is text number 1. So now I'm going to find any iterations of the text. Match, or matches maybe there's more than one, will equal to pattern, which is compiled, and there's a function for that pattern in the regular expressions, find iter, and we specified which text or which text we're going to use as a source text to look for the pattern. In my case, it's obviously sample compiled here, and we're going to try to find those matches. And that returns a list of stuff. We'll see what it is, what it looks like in a second. So obviously I made a mistake. Name text doesn't exist. What are you trying to do? It's text 1, so my bad. So once it is found, it returns the list of stuff. Let's read that list, if there's any match found. So we're going to use, because it's a list, we're going to use just a regular for loop, for match in matches. So remember, what it returns, this command, is just a list of stuff. And it looks like this. If there's any match, print that match. And I will enter. It found. So that's what we find in the list. We have a bunch of stuff here, and it says, yeah, I did find the match. Your sample is in that text 1. It is actually giving me also the coordinates for list slicing. So if I have a text 1, I can actually display just what was found. It gives me the list slicing. So remember from the previous video, one of those videos I did is a list slicing from character 10 up to 16, but not containing 16, display that slice, and that slice is our sample. Obviously this is not the best example to show you the power of regular expressions, but obviously that's just to illustrate what are the steps I'm going to be doing over and over again to find much more sophisticated, much more difficult patterns in the text.